13 years, I wore a medical alert bracelet around my left wrist. It was there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It was there to warn people. I was allergic to peanuts, a detail about myself that may seem trivial, but one that had a great influence on my life. This all started when I was almost 2 years old. I was at a neighbor's house for dinner, and I ate a cookie with peanut butter. I started to have an allergic reaction, and I was rushed to the emergency room. That was when I found out that I was allergic to peanuts, and from then on, I had to be incredibly diligent about what I ate. I read through more labels on cookie boxes than I could ever count. However, this year, something very special happened to me. That changed my entire life for the better. I joined a clinical study at the University of Virginia to slowly increase my immunity to peanuts. Through the study, I've learned many important lessons about taking risks and perseverance. Despite having experienced only about 5 allergic reactions in my life, my peanut allergy has had a huge influence on my life. My parents were worried, for example, about taking me to other countries because they knew I wouldn't have many options when eating out. For 13 years, peanuts have limited my ability to do more than just eat. During that time, I just had to get used to it. I never dreamed that I would be able to abandon that lifestyle. I became almost religious in my habit of looking over all the ingredients and allergy information of all the foods that came my way. Nowadays, most food companies frequently try to protect themselves from lawsuits by slapping the "may contain traces of peanut" sticker on every product they make. This precaution led to my not being able to tell when the warning was sincere and when it was just a way for the company to protect itself. My fear of traces and cross-contamination became greater than my fear of actual peanuts. By the time I was 13, I had definitely accepted that no matter how inconvenient it was, I would have to be extra careful about baked goods for the rest of my life. Then something happened that completely rocked my world. I met Dr. Scott Cummins, an allergy expert at the University of Virginia. He told me about the study he was conducting. His goal was to find out if a peanut allergy could be overcome by slowly building up a subject's immunity to peanuts. To top it off, the study was funded by the Oki family, whose children go to Stab. I was fascinated, but at the same time, I was hesitant. For all those years, I had taught myself to recognize peanuts and stay away from them. The idea of eating peanuts intentionally was really scary to me. What if I have a reaction? What if I had to go to the ER? What if I die? These questions were the only thoughts in my head for a long time, until I discussed the issue with my parents. They understood why I was scared, but they also showed me all the great things that could come out of the experience. I ended up agreeing to take part in a peanut challenge to find out if I was still allergic, and if so, to what extent. The challenge consisted of me eating a small number of peanut pieces, being monitored by the doctors for about 30 minutes, then continuing to a larger number of peanut pieces. This idea scared me because I was going to eat peanuts again and again and again until I had an allergic reaction. Fortunately, my parents were there to comfort me and explain that I would be under the doctor's care and that if anything bad happened, I would be treated immediately. I was convinced, so during the spring break of 7th grade, I went to the hospital to do my challenge. At first, everything was going swimmingly. I ate several snacks and candies with peanut traces in it, and I even had a few peanut M&Ms. But after 3 peanut M&Ms, I started to feel funny. I told Dr. Cummins, and I was given some antihistamines. This worked temporarily, but I was soon throwing up, and we don't really have to talk about the details. After that experience, I definitely was scared and didn't want to continue with the study. Still, my parents convinced me of the long-term benefits of continuing, and so I very reluctantly agreed. This was the best choice I've ever made. About a week or so after my challenge, I went once again to a medical center at UVA. This time, I was given peanut flour, ground up peanuts as a fine powder, as opposed to eating peanut M&Ms in the legs, since they are hard to measure as accurately. Since I did well in the challenge relative to others in the study, I was allowed a head start. Most subjects start on a liquid solution, but I got to start by taking 12 milligrams of peanut flour, 6 milligrams of peanut protein, which is what I'm actually allergic to. I started taking the powder mixed in applesauce every night. Later, I switched to ice cream. Then I started using yogurt. For an entire year, I ate peanut flour every night after dinner. And then every other week, I'd visit Dr. Cummins to bump up the amount of my dosage. While I was there, I could meet up with the kids who were in the study, like Hunter Oki. who was right around the same dosage as me. I had to eat my peanuts every night, no matter where I was. I even brought peanut flour with me to summer camp, and I flew to San Francisco with peanut flour in my carry-on. I did have to miss a handful of dosages for several different reasons, but if I was able, I was eating peanut flour. This endeavor took a lot of perseverance to continue during some parts of the study. At around 150 milligrams, I started having stomach aches every night. Every night. It was awful, and I certainly wanted to quit, but I didn't. I kept going. This past February, I left school early. I wasn't sick. I was going to my final peanut challenge. It all came down to that day to see if I'd beaten my allergy. For nearly 5 hours, I ate yogurt after yogurt with peanut flour until I didn't feel like I could eat anymore. During the last dosage of the challenge, I almost gave up. I was so full, and every spoonful of yogurt made me feel one step closer to exploding. I didn't think I could do it, but the doctors and my mom told me to take my time. I pushed through, slowly but surely. It felt like forever, but eventually, I realized that I had finished. That day, I ate the equivalent of 13 peanuts mixed into 5 servings of yogurt. I was over the moon. I felt invincible. I announced the news on my Facebook page, and I was flooded with messages of support and congratulations from my friends and family. As my mom put it, I'm peanut-proof. Dr. Cummins and the Oki family completely changed my life, and I will be forever grateful for what they have done for me. I can go out to restaurants without worrying about cross-contamination. I can eat all of the candy I get from Halloween and Easter, and I can say that I'm not scared of it anymore. I went to the United Kingdom for spring break this year, and I could eat all of the chocolate I wanted. I also learned a great lesson in perseverance. So many times I wanted to quit, and all those times my parents convinced me to keep going. The whole experience turned out better than I could have ever asked for. Remember that medical alert bracelet I said in the beginning? I don't wear that anymore. It takes some getting used to once you've worn something for 13 years, but I'm getting used to it. Thanks to Dr. Cummins and the Oki family, I'm now one of the first of, hopefully many, people whose lives can be changed completely through this treatment. I conquered my fear, and now I can bite into anything in the kitchen without being afraid.